Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Ham.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Ham.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. Time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorgatron in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with you guys here tonight to talk some techie things, probably Apple-y things, some travel tips, if you will, and love letters from the TSA. With me on the line from the Pod Cave. Oh man, I have like 2 buttons for you here. We'll pick one. Wait. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. It just kind of zooms in ever so slightly. The resolutions are slightly off, but either way, you're there. Dave Potter of the iPhoneography Podcast. How you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
There you go. You having fun playing with your new iOS-y phone situation there? I think we'll get into that here in a moment, right? And
yeah.
Excellent. And also, we do have with us, we're down to 1 intern. We did not vote one off the island, but intern Mac is here hanging out in the chat room. Welcome back. We haven't scared you away yet. Week 3. Week 3. Welcome to it. Have you learned a lot the last 2 weeks?
I know how to use social media now, which is pretty cool.
Fantastic. But we're going to be learning a lot more here. And please chime in, Mac, if you have any comments about anything going on here. We got some cat action going on. Look at that tail, Potter. Thanks.
I know.
Jeez. Okay, that's
it
for
can't
the
be
visual.
a podcast without cats.
I love when they're like they've been doing the clips and the cat just randomly is not referenced, but is in the video when we're talking about something else. And I've been waiting for that to catch on with the audience and stuff. So it's kind of fun when that happens. All right, let's get into our awesome things of the week. You're going to talk about iPhones in a moment, but let's talk about travel. Okay. I did have the opportunity. I got to return for the first time since I checked. I hadn't been out to Seattle since October of 2022. It was the first time Defy Wrestling was on Triller TV. Helped them when they're on Pluto TV for their first couple of streams from there. And again, this is one of those things where I was brought out because they tapped our friend Scotty Swemba, who was on a few months ago talking about some high-end cameras and some cool stuff we were doing with SAE, one of our clients. So he is, helping to up the look of Defy Wrestling. We always talk about Defy Wrestling was always had a really cool, different look. Had higher end cameras, like things like that. Back when I was working with them before and everything. I don't know specifically what they've been doing since, but there's been some shuffling or whatever has been going on over there, and they called me back to basically carry all of Scotty's cameras with me because he had Disney World with the family already planned. So not only am I getting tips from him to set his cameras up and the organization, also he's asking me for tips of Disney World while he's there with the kids for the first time ever. So he made it on the Guardians. I didn't get to do that last time I was there. It was too full. I couldn't get on there. He got on the Tron. So, and I know they got the Tron Ares 9 Inch Nails stuff going on here. So I'm jealous because I really love to see that overlay as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'll squeeze out a Disney trip here in the next few months if I'm lucky. We're doing well enough. But to get an idea, if you're on a video version of this here, to get an idea of what I was dealing with, I was a solo rolling out, and we've done this before. When we did Baja, Arizona, we did do, what they call a fly pack, where it's like, okay, here's everything you need for the production, and you put it in a bunch of cases and you fly it out. And that was a little, but I had help. I had Katie with me and everything, right? So we got to, divide things up. The fees weren't too bad. They're better on the way back when we had 4 people, especially on Southwest. It was like, here, you take these 2 free bags. You take these 2 free bags, that kind of situation. So I was dealing with this pile basically the entire few days there. I really bought a lot of smart cards. And I feel bad. You pay $8 to put stuff on a cart to just really go around the corner to check the bags, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore, right? You know, or pick it up from the cart and then go find your hotel shuttle, or okay, get one from the rental cart into the shuttle and then out of the shuttle to the thing. So that's 2 carts you're paying for there. It was a heck of a process. But again, I love kind of working through these problems. But no, we had, the Sony, I think they were the FS7s that I know we use for Enjoy Wrestling and everything. And of course, this is something I've been working with Scotty a bit, to take that high end video and making it live and doing like good live stuff out of it. So it was good to get out there. I didn't get to see friends of the show from the Mayhem show because things were a little too busy. Just as this is an early version, we actually moved this stuff, but this is what it kind of looked like in advance as we're setting up. The ring's down there. We're in historic Washington Hall. Over in basically the heart of Seattle over there, right? So it was pretty cool. There's a little bit of the gear and stuff there. I can't remember if there's anything I'm not supposed to show here, but there you go. You get into the show, you kind of get an idea what things look like.
I can imagine being that elevated does have a huge advantage in terms of knowing, being able to see the action so you know what to switch to.
You think I can see the action from up there?
Well,
you see that sight line that I have?
Yeah, that's
I don't
true,
have
yeah.
a lot of reference for that, and there's been, and that's fine too. So, but no, it was pretty cool to be able to set that all up and be able to interface with all that. So, and again, great to work with Rich Pacini, that I've worked with a lot of times before, really trying to sweeten that audio. I know Swemba, who's really hard on this kind of stuff, said this might be the best looking and sounding independent wrestling show he's ever seen, which is high praise, and also, it's his gear. So I was really happy with how a lot of that turned out. So that's a Defy Aeon. I think it's Aeon. We were having a discussion about how to pronounce it beforehand. So if you want to see that, it's over on Triller TV Plus. If you want to see how that turned out, and I'm trying to see if I can find really quick a link to that to show you a little bit of how that came out. So I know you were I think, were you watching some of it live, or am I thinking the other show that you were watching with us?
That was the other show.
That was the other show. That
was the other show. Yeah.
The other show that I found out somebody shared the secret link, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are in the chat room. I'm killing the stream. Screw you guys. I was so
because I was actually casting that to our TV to watch, so I wasn't really watching the chat room. Also, like you said, it wasn't a public stream, so I wasn't expecting. Then all of a sudden, when you killed it, I went back to the phone to say, "Oh, what happened?" I see all this happening in chat. I'm like, I don't recognize that name. But again, it could be somebody that I know.
They were
just
not
has a
anybody
different
I
username.
know. So here's an idea of what it looked like there. Again, we had a really cinematic kind of look at things. Yeah, Killer Cross and Calvin Tankman. And Cross is, I know this isn't the wrestling show, but this is more of a technical thing. Cross is a guy that was at WWE. I literally saw him at MetLife Stadium at the beginning of August as part of SummerSlam in person, and to be like producing a show that he's a part of is kind of fun. So it was really good, a really hot night all night with everything. These guys only do 6 matches. I love it. It's so good. It's so much fun.
Wow.
And we did the whole replays and everything. There's Clark Connors from New Japan with Brian Keith from AEW. Had a killer opening match for the Defy Championship. Had the women's title on there too, with Maria Shafir, again, our AEW girl that did a killer promo there, and you don't hear her talk a whole lot on TV. So that was a lot of fun. So that's Defy Wrestling. Go check that out. There'll be more events. I'm hoping they invite me out. Portland, Seattle, and again, all those shows are on Triller TV Plus right now. So which I think it's like something like $10 a month, and then you'll be able to see that and a bunch of other stuff going on, including a lot of people we know from Wrestling Mayhem show. So that was a really cool thing, and it was great. It was great to kind of put that together and and see people. Like, I love the crew out there. I love Robin that works with Washington Hall. You get to collab with him on putting things together, and also, hey, do you have a spare XLR cord, bro? Things like that, because you don't want to bring everything. I had people bring me monitors, so that's one less thing that we had to pay to ship and all that kind of stuff, right? So, but now I'm going to be looking at a lot of that stuff and figuring out ways to pare things down, try to make it a little more mobile. I've been looking at fly pack cases. Some of them are huge. Some of them are giant cabinets that apparently you can get on a plane. I don't know how this happens. And then everything folds out and everything. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
there's no way that's going to be a thing that we do, right? Because then I need like a U-Haul when I get there in order to get this anywhere. So like none of that is happening at this scale, but in the future, it could be something that we do eventually. I will just roll this thing out in the middle of Baja and let's go, you know, so I got to put like heavy duty stuff on it or something like that. Right. So anyways, Dave, what is your awesome thing of the week?
Sure. My thing's actually related to a podcast I had earlier today, actually.
Oh.
Yes, we had our iPhoneography podcast a little earlier. Normally it's a Monday night podcast. We had it a little we had scheduling issues, so we rescheduled it for this afternoon.
Okay.
And both my co-hosts had and were able to play with their new iPhone 17 Pro Maxes. Both got orange. And my
orange is the way to go, baby.
Apparently it is. Now we'll mention if we come to it in a rundown a little bit later about colors and why that may be an issue if you get one of the bright colors. But Dwight, who is located in Southern California, took a couple of pictures, and it's, at least for me, now he did do some editing. And these are raw photos, so these aren't hype, but that's at the 1x size. So there's a fishing boat with the bay at sunrise here.
It's kind of
you
nice.
know, with the yeah, like I said, again, the one thing is when they make changes, you want to make sure they don't mess up what's already there. So even though the hardware has not changed, the lens is the same, the sensor's the same for the main camera. The image processing chip has been updated.
Okay.
So there will be improvements. And like I said, he just dumb luck got the bird flying right over the boat like that.
That is nice. That is a nice placement of that bird.
Yeah. Now, we talked last week how the 8X isn't a true optical. It's more of a cropped of the 48 megapixel telephoto. So there should be another photo there.
Yeah, that would be this one right here.
Yeah, and that was taken from the same location using
Wow.
the 8X zoom.
This is that boat in the background. Is this
That is
right
that
here?
boat.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Now he said he did have
is
to
it the-
lighten some of the mid images.
Is it the cougar?
Yeah, the Cougar.
The cougar?
Mm-hmm. Come aboard the Cougar.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but now he, like I say, he did have to brighten the image a little bit in the midtones. But the fact that you went from because really if you have an iPhone 16 or a 15 Pro Max, which has the 5x lens, that's a 12 megapixel lens.
Sure.
Well, with the cropping, and not really with how they're handling the 8x in the 17, that's a 12 megapixel image.
Yeah.
Because you're starting with the 48 and you're just bringing it in.
That's amazing.
So yeah, the fact that, and now my other co-host Greg, he tried the 40x digital zoom, looked like crap. But it was also handheld, but also it's digital 40x. You're not going to get a great image.
No.
But yeah,
that's when I need to get that
an 8.
for practical reasons and not for pretty picture reasons, right?
Right. Right. And honestly, if you want to do more than 10, which is digital, which will still give you digital images, if you need more than 10, get a camera with a zoom lens that can handle that. I mean, a bigger camera.
And there's plenty of add-ons for those lenses too, so that you can just have hanging off of your phone. We've looked at Kickstarters in the past, so if you want to do something like, and there was something talking about video about doing stuff like at like sideline NFL stuff, and they're using iPhones, but you have this giant lens on it, right? So I'm sure. Listen, we have these big lenses that came with these that they were using with these Sony FS7s. I'm sure I could get an adapter to just slap one of those, and I could be shooting ProRes on my iPhone Pro Max, right? Absolutely. And it's either I have a $1,500 iPhone versus a I think they're $4,000 or $6,000 bodies for these cameras, and of course the lens is $2,500. So, as I'm learning all these prices, because when somebody entrusts you with something very expensive, they let you know exactly how much it is. By the way, this happened to me several times. Anyways, you were saying.
Well, yeah. Well, when you were talking about the add-on lenses, again, co-host Greg, and I don't know if Dwight has it or not, but the company Reflex, which also puts out software, has hardware, and they have a 240 millimeter lens which goes on the main camera. So it'll give you what is 240? It's like 10x zoom approximately.
And they have special cases that these lenses
they do
go
have
on.
special cases.
So
yeah.
this is
so they
Reflex
fit
Store,
perfectly.
reflexstore.com if you're interested to check this out.
Yeah, and they're coming out with the cases for the 17, but they also have cases. So yeah, basically these are not cheap lenses.
No.
This is you're serious and you want to invest money. Because
look at that
lens...
thing. Look at that big lens that's going to be popping off of your iPhone there. Man.
And like I said, it screws in where the screw is metal, so it's not plastic. So it's a very tight fit. It's a very, very tight fit.
So the question I have on this is, for somebody that, let's say I'm a novice, and don't entirely understand lenses, right? Versus going to get a DSLR and doing that whole thing. Would I benefit from educationally from going with this kind of thing to understand the difference between some of these lenses? I guess they're not really. Yeah, do you just have like fish eyes and wide angles and telephoto ones?
Yeah,
they're more kind of like standard things. They're not like. You're not telling me it's like a.
Yeah, they're not zoom. No.
Okay.
You're not getting a 70 to 300 millimeter lens.
They're just
They're just different types of lenses.
Okay.
And that can also have filters that go on top. But you can see like the 240 millimeter lens, the lens by itself is $270. So again, this is not, I just want to take pretty pictures now and then, or even go like a little step above what the average person does. But we're getting to where, like you said, the fact of if you put a lens like this and the 17, which, with the improved processing will get better. You're where prosumer cameras were, both, I would say, the iPhones and the high-end Samsungs and the high-end outside the US, like the Huawei and, the cameras we can't get, the phones and cameras we can't get in the U.S.
right
from the Chinese manufacturers. They're prosumer cameras pretty much.
Okay.
And especially since you can shoot in RAW, and basically like Dwight does, he does his editing on Photoshop on the desktop. So he shoots it in RAW, just like if you had a DSLR camera shooting in RAW, you would import it into Photoshop. You would use certain LUTs. You would do all your editing on there. He does the same thing with iPhone photos. So, and like I said, the 17, the zoom, the telephoto lens, the fact that you do have now a step of 0.5 for the ultra wide, the 1x, the 2x, which is a crop, but still it's, you're not digitally interpolating anything, and then a 4x and an 8x. That's a nice distance between everything. Where if you have a 16, you're going from half to 1 to 2 to 5. You have that gap between 2 and 5 where you may get a shot that's like in between, and then you either have to let the software kind of figure out how to work it or move forward or back, where having more steps in between will definitely help.
Well, it's good to see these first samples here, and of course, do that deep dive. Go to iPhoneography's podcast, and you can hear a little bit more from the photography, the iPhone photography experts over there with Dave Potter and friends. So awesome! Hey, Chachi is back with another video game minute, and we'll be back and give a shout out to our Patreons after this.
Hey kids, welcome back to the Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Here's as much video game news that I can cover in under a minute. Research company Ampere's determined that video game TV adaptations boost playership in the source material. Using recent releases Fallout and The Last of Us, they found that new players increased in Fallout by 490%, and The Last of Us jumped by 150%. Even shows with lower popularity see huge increases, as the Devil May Cry anime boosted playership by 358%. It was also noted that movies get a bump, but not nearly as much. For example, the Minecraft movie brought in 30% increase in comparison. So with stats like those, it's hard to not make TV video games. So let's see some more. And finally, Noah Bushnell is looking to bring video games to the classroom. He is teaming up with Dr. Leah Haynes, forming Exodexa, an educational video game platform using AI to help add education to video games, hoping to change the way kids learn. By taking the focus away from a teacher-led system to a video game, they're hoping to gain kids' attentions and keep it, and bring back a willingness to learn, stating that the problem may not be learning disorders, but instead possibly teaching failures. So, I mean, I honestly probably would have paid more attention in school had this been an option. Just saying. Thanks for watching this week's Chachi Says Video Game Minute. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Chachi, for that video game minute. I still need to watch Fallout, I'm realizing. Not that I really got into the game itself. I poked at it a little bit. I think I poked at the original one, like on a demo. I tried playing, 3 or 4 maybe, and just couldn't. It's a lot. You know, it's just one of those games that's just like a giant open world, and I just feel like I don't have time for it. So not that I've been really just kind of playing fighting games when I have 5 minutes the last couple months. So anyways, thank you everybody that is supporting the show. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast. You guys help keep the show going, keep the show rolling, help them pay for the servers and keep it literally spinning so it gets out there. And thank you everybody that has been supporting us for a long time. Our friends Brian Crawford, Cynthia Klossky, John DeGore, and Dave Potter himself over here. Hello. And you guys support the show too. We have the Patreon online feed. You got a little bit before or after during the show. It goes all night, so you can see what happens when Chachi's on and us talking about things and what's coming next. See a little bit how the sausage is made. And of course, we also usually do a Patreon after show. And also, programming note, we will not be here live next Tuesday. We'll be on the road for Baja SAE Carolina. So we do intend to have some sort of content. We're not entirely sure what that's going to be yet. It may be a Monday show, maybe a Sunday show. We're going to talk to the hosts and see when people are generally available. I would love to get Katie on after she's returned from her surfing adventures and just kind of talk about that a little bit, perhaps. So we'll see. We'll see how that. It also depends on how that goes. She's like midway through it, and I heard there's some paddling on board so far, as I saw yesterday. So otherwise, but she's in Santa Cruz doing just enjoying life right now. So, and I'm sure better weather than we have going on right here. So.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I forgot to mention something about those cases before. A little tip I learned. I learned this from some video professionals that I watch with the Office Hours Global. I think Alex Lindsay himself actually gave this tip. So if you are, in that case where you do have like a lot of equipment, like especially in this case, we have cameras and lenses that we're really concerned we don't want anybody messing with, and you've packed everything so concisely to make it fit, so you don't have too many cases, and maybe it's like really kind of haphazard in there. One thing I do on these, you saw like kind of sizable, like they're not Pelican brand, but Pelican cases we call them kind of generally. They have holes in them, and we put zip ties on them. One to reinforce things, just in case something should happen with a clips or something like that, because honestly they tend to break off on these modes and on these versions of the cases. But the one thing you do is the tip is the TSA always uses white zip ties. So if you zip tie anything, this could be even your suitcase, okay, if you're concerned about that. Now, when the TSA looks through your stuff, and if you haven't experienced this before, they will leave, as I call, a love letter from the TSA. There will be something that explains, hey, the TSA was in your bag, we were looking for stuff, just doing a check, and, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what happens if they take something. To my awareness, that has not happened to me. So, like if I left my batteries in there or something, are they going to take all this? You know what I mean? So, I expected them to look at something. And God bless the Pittsburgh Airport TSA. Look through all 5 of my cases, it seems. And I didn't really, I'm so tired. I'm going through stuff. I'm getting picked up. I'm trying to figure out how to get to the hotel. I'm trying to get checked in. I've sat on the tarmac for 40 minutes for no reason at all once we landed. So I get back and I look at the stack of stuff on the cart sitting in my hotel. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Every one of them has white zip ties to them. So I know immediately. Now, in this case, I couldn't do anything about it because it's 2 a.m. I'm tired as hell and I have to get up in a few hours to get ready for stuff, go get the rental car, et cetera, to proceed with my work day. So I'm just like, well, I'm not going through it, but I know I need to look over everything with a fine-tooth comb when I get to the facility tomorrow. So either way, especially if you're bringing 1 or 2 things, it's like, okay, let's make sure they didn't screw up my DSLR camera or something if you have something like that, right? Make sure they didn't mess up a lens. Make sure they didn't do this. Make sure this stuff isn't out of sort. So there's an idea for that. If you have anything of any value breakage, anything like that, and not that TSA is mishandling things, but anybody going through your stuff that you're worried about anybody touching is a cause for concern, right?
Oh yeah.
So it can be with computer stuff, be personal effects, whatever the case is. But that is one thing. Use non-white zip ties. We use black zip ties here, and then we know immediately when we pick up that bag, if we're not too tired, that somebody has been through it, and we need to go double check to make sure nothing has been damaged before, especially something that could be vital for the production we're about to do. So everything was fine. Nobody looked through a single bag. I had no love letters coming back from Seattle, by the way.
Oh.
So just putting that out there.
Interesting.
All right, so let's get
that's good to know because I have travel coming up in a few weeks, and I'm just glad I don't have to take off my shoes anymore.
Oh yeah, I hear that's for everybody now, right? Yeah. They had the worst TSA pre-check line that I've ever seen. I've never seen it.
In Pittsburgh?
No, Seattle coming back.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no, it was terrible. I got in this line and did I get bamboozled and get thrown into a regular line? So thankfully it was relatively quick. So man, everything that could have been slightly bothersome to me on the way back happened. So it's fine. It's just everything. There's a reason you go 2 hours in advance, because the TSA pre-check line is actually about 400 people, for instance, or you're gonna have to deal with this because you have 5 cases and the guy. And whenever you're doing the media pass thing, invariably you're always dealing with somebody that has never done it before, and they have to figure it out. This happens everywhere with every airline, and they're usually, hopefully, somebody I always get the person that doesn't know and has to ask somebody from down the line without fail. Always seems to happen. So this is why I'm driving to Carolina next week, because I just don't want to deal with this crap anymore, especially since I'm going to have to take small commuter flights from Atlanta. I don't want to take equipment on this stuff because I don't know if they can take everything. I'm looking at the rules for the Alaska flights. They go to some small Alaskan towns up there. There's limits on what you can take, size and number. So it's a cause for concern. We're going
Atlanta to Charlotte would just be you go up, you come down.
Well, yes. Well, we went Atlanta to Greenville.
Oh, okay.
That has a whole 10 gates. So yeah. And still they screwed me up on the way out. So either way. So let's see what else is going on here. First, the feels go out. And you don't get this much with the big company, but the feels go out to Meta and Mark Zuckerberg last week for an incredible technology fail as they're unveiling the new Meta Ray-Bans. I got to see some of the clips that some of the people were talking about on some of the other podcasts. And apparently he did the walkout seemed to do well, but once he got out and he's trying to do a call, they did a cooking demo. Apparently, I didn't see the video of this. Apparently, there's this thing where he just goes jogging out of the theater, and you have a guy on a cart following him, but it's supposed to roll over to his glasses, and we're supposed to watch him just run away, and that's the end of the thing. It doesn't happen. So. But also, and today when we have these pre-recorded Apple presentations, and whatever the heck Jimmy Fallon did with Google a couple weeks ago, it's one of those God bless him for trying, to do something and showing this, and no, yeah, it didn't work. I heard the person in charge of phone calls got fired the next day, for instance. It's very Steve. But who knows? I'm hoping there's another reason, but know.
Well, I heard the problem was they tested it beforehand. Everything went perfect.
Sure.
But then they had all the media there.
Who all no, it's not even just they also had all the employees who were all also wearing Ray-Bans, the Meta Ray-Bans. So one version,
and it overwhelmed.
One version is it's the Wi-Fi. The other version is somehow they DDoS themselves. Like I'm trying to grok like what allegedly when you said, "Hey Meta," I don't think anybody has anything that'll blow up on this listening here. You just had like however many glasses were in the room all hit the server at the same time because you just said really loud on the speakers, "Hey Meta." So imagine you had a room full of anything. Imagine if Hey Siri didn't pattern to your voice as much. You said Hey Siri from the stage and like everybody's phone lit up, right? And it shouldn't do that, but but this was like. And this is not with the infrastructure of an Apple iPhone, situation. So allegedly it was one or the other of that. It really kind of failed. The cooking demo, it kept telling him he's asking for the first step, and it says, well, now that you have everything together, you have to do this. It was like, no, what's the first step? And they went over this a couple of times. I was watching some of those painstaking moments from this. Either way, beyond the tech demo fails, and it's very unfortunate from things. I was watching some of the videos today. Marquise Browley, who's got a really good, and I love Marquise. Really pontificates the future when he gets a device like this. He talks about how, like, the idea of we're going from a phone distracting us to it's going to be on our glasses, because this thing is very much like what I loved about the Google Glass. Remember, I went to New York, got the fitting at Google in Chelsea neighborhood, I think it is. I figured I felt like it's Chelsea.
Right.
Yeah, out in Chelsea, did that whole thing. And it was a fantastic experience. I loved the device. It really kind of was a precursor what became the watch for me. And this feels like it's getting there with that. There is a on-screen display that's part of your glasses, and you don't see it otherwise. You don't see any bleed of the light that's bouncing off. It basically bounces right back into your eye. The glasses themselves are the prism. So I think that's really interesting. A lot of the AI stuff and recognition that I was doing, it had somebody. One of the demos they were doing when they were testing this thing was they had the dog and they turned it into a more animated version of the picture of the dog and the environment in front of them, all in glasses. Battery life isn't great. They said about 6 hours if you're on phone calls and stuff like that. So it's not going to be an all-day kind of thing. But, man, is it getting closer. It's around $800, which, remember, Google Glass was $1,300, I think I paid for that thing back in 2013-ish, 11-ish, whatever like that was. Yeah. So it's around that, and probably more because I got, I have expensive lenses now, and you'd have to do all that kind of situation too, right? So I'm very interested in these. Let's put it that way.
I actually went to Ray-Ban's site that you had a link for, and now it depends on what style and what you're looking for. But assuming you don't want to have the special limited edition. They do have it looks like a couple of them you have for like around $400. Now, admittedly, that is if you don't need a prescription. I don't know if they could do like I have progressive bifocals. I doubt if they could do those.
We're looking at a little bit from Unbox Therapy. Did a really good kind of unbox teardown test out of this thing. That I thought was really good. I don't know. I want to see how they shot this. I think they put a phone up behind the glasses to get kind of what the visual looked like. Okay. That I thought was really cool. Or something of the sort, because it's very vertical, right? You can see the picture will pop up when you're doing videos showing us what you're actually getting. It's it asked out like what kind of dog this was, and it pulled up the information. So it's really kind of interesting. So the menu is really slick. You know, again, you're going through all meta stuff. There's no app store or anything like that. There is live transition. Here's the thing that I find. Okay, this is going to be an old guy feature for me. Obviously, like, I heard it the other day on I think This Week in Tech. You know, they're like, oh, I want the thing where I walk into a room, it recognizes faces, and it helps me remember who people are. Right? Like, yeah,
That would be great. Yes.
Here's the thing with me. When I'm somewhere where there's a lot of like crowd noise, and this is something that's been a problem with me for. I've kind of always had this problem, and it's obviously getting worse with age, and I'm wearing headphones in loud environments with my productions and everything. So it's getting worse, obviously. There is a directional microphone on it, and as you look at somebody, it will transcribe what they're saying on the screen in front of you. And if they're speaking a different language, it will transcribe and translate that for you live.
Well, that's nice.
This is the killer feature.
Now,
on a lot of cases.
And I didn't see this or not. Does it save that, or is it just on the screen and it's gone?
I don't know. I presume it's in the moment. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Saving it would be a privacy and security issue.
Obviously. Listen, the existence of these on your face is a privacy and security issue. Okay? Let's just get that conversation out of the way here. Let's presume you're okay with the idea that you have a camera on you as you're walking by people who do not know you have a camera on your face, or that you're looking at a screen giving you information potentially about them, or is telling you what they are saying if they're out of range that you would actually be hearing them. You know, there is certainly a creep factor with this thing. And here's actually a little bit of the video. This is from the Marquise Browley one. He's talking about the navigation and how it turns to you. It turns with you as far as which way you're looking at the navigation. This is the part they're showing about the what they were doing for the transcription that happens while you're talking to somebody. And it says it works pretty quickly from their testing that they did, and they have early versions of this. Right, it's coming out shortly, so they have pre-release newish versions of them that should be relatively what you're going to get out of that. So but that is very especially. I'm always interested with I remember taking Google Glass, doing Google Lens, and going into the grocery store that has all the Spanish foods and looking at labels and watching it translate live in front of me, right? Like that kind of thing. I would love to do that and be able to communicate, more conveniently with those around me.
The other thing I would love if you could rewind. Rewind 10 seconds. Because sometimes you hear someone, you're like, instead of asking them to repeat, or you hear something and you're like moving on to, it's like, what did they just say? And you could like a little hand gesture, like a rewind, like a rollback. Or it could be useful of, you're not listening to me, are you? But what did I just say?
It can help your.
You just said this.
It can help your spousal arguments. It can help you remember birthdays because somebody happened to say it around you. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. So, and Mac, I see you put the information in here that it translates to English, Spanish, French, and Italian. And that is Mac. You had an interesting question in there. You want to share that here?
I just want to know how it's going to compare to the AirPods Pro Live Translate, because I know a lot of people have been disappointed.
Sorg, can you repeat that? Because I'm not hearing Mac
that they have right now.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. I don't think we have your microphone up for Dave here. So there we go. I think you might be able to hear here now. Go ahead. Say that again.
So with the AirPod Pros, mostly what I've been hearing from people is they don't like that's limited to like only a few languages. And Apple said they're going to come out with, I think, Chinese, Japanese are the two big ones later in the year. I wonder if Meta's
which are
going to
be more difficult to translate, honestly. Yeah,
absolutely, especially with different dialects. But
yeah, no, but there's options, right? Like it's really interesting. Which we had a comment. Of course, we're talking about the AirPod Pros, and somebody's like, "Well, Google's been doing this for a while. They've had earbuds, yada yada yada." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine, but this is Apple's version, and it's going to work a little bit differently, but potentially a little smoother or anything like that in that Apple way, right? So you never know. So either way, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about these. I've been wanting the glasses. I do wish it was not Meta that was doing them, honestly. But what they're delivering looks really good. But it needs to get to that point where it is like I need to get to that point where it's I can wear them all day. Even man, I just replaced my Apple Watch battery and it already died last night. It just but also there's a brand new OS on it, right? So I imagine that was part of it.
Stuff, yeah.
So like that kind of thing. I'm still not even getting there fully with my watch. Now I have a Series 8, with a brand new battery. And it's still not like I've been on Do Not Disturb the last few days, partially for personal mindfulness, but also just I don't want to deal with having to like, I gotta put it on the battery. What am I doing here? Kind of thing, right? And also just getting work done so my wrist isn't buzzing all the time is really important for me right now. So but yeah, we're getting there. Like this is one of the most promising products that at least on paper and in demos that I'm seeing and everything like that. It's the most promising thing I've seen in a while. I mean, I'm really waiting for the Apple version. Let's be honest about this. Or Google maybe having a better one that cooperates a little better. So either way,
like you said, it is. It's you really got to worry about meta and privacy.
Well, no matter what you're doing, you got to worry about privacy. You get one of those pins. I know. I've been listening to people that had the pins where they listen to everything all day, transcribe it, and then let you know how your day went and let you know any notes of it from the day and everything like that. And then that company got bought by Amazon, right? And I was like, well, okay, there goes all my personal data for the last several months and intimate things. I don't know. It's just I don't know anybody's going to have an answer for that. With the current environment. You're either kind of all in for it or you're not, and you have to be mindful of that and your privacy concerns. So, and how you use it and where you use it, for instance, right? Just waiting for somebody to just waiting for the first person that there's a story because he wore it into their Ray-Bans into Meta Ray-Bans into the bathroom, just like was a problem with Google Glass, right? So, I don't know. Either way. Well, anyway, all of us got, no matter if we upgraded our phones, we did have the option to upgrade for most of us to the latest iOS, Watch OS. It's all 26 now, guys. So is the Mac OS also, is Mac OS no longer a name to it? Is it just 26?
No, there is a name. There is a name.
Okay.
It's still 26, but there's a name to it.
26, and then also blah blah blah, right?
yeah. Whatever it is, which
Tahoe.
There we go.
Lake Tahoe. I get it now. Lake Tahoe is a fantastic place. Been there a couple times. Okay, so yeah, that I'm not even I'm in I need my computers for work. I will not be uploading Mac OS for at least 3 months probably.
Which is fine.
We're gonna sit on that because sometimes I have updated my Mac and literally can't edit certain things in Final Cut for several months. I got really screwed up. Which I need to. I definitely had a very terrible Baja season because I had to edit things. I had to pre-render everything because it screwed up imports for 8 months after the update. Things like that. I would hope something like that wouldn't happen again. And I'm listening to my production things to see if they're getting that stuff happening before I get to it. So usually around Christmas, I'll probably upgrade though. So because I'm going to want features that they're doing that talk to my phone that I'm going to run into roadblocks, right? Basically, it's when that gets annoying enough, I will do it on one computer that I don't do most of my editing on and move on from there, right? So either way, so we have that, Dave. I presume you've updated your devices of some sort. My watch and my main phone. I did have the beta on an old 13 Pro Max. Played with that a little bit, and amazingly, it didn't seem to slow down much for being an older phone.
That's always a concern. That's a major concern.
Not seeing that now. So how are you liking the liquid glass?
Honestly, I know people. I've seen people complain about it and say blah blah. I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it. So it runs smooth for me. It runs like it's supposed to, so I really don't have any problems with it. It does take some getting used to because it does look different,
Mhm.
but
Definitely very glassy.
the opaqueness works fine. Um, I'm getting a little used to how the camera looks because that's a little bit of an update. The photos look a little different, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like they they fixed what they kind of messed up in the last OS. So with that, I think that's really good. Um, I haven't put it on the iPad yet
Mm-hmm.
because that's Ruth's thing, and I'm trying to hold off as long as possible on that. Now the other thing I noticed, and if you have CarPlay, there's not a separate update for it.
No.
So
Because it
if
just
you
runs
once you
off your
update
phone.
exactly. So they did make it where because when it was first put out, everyone had the smaller, low resolution screens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now there's lots of cards with larger, higher resolution screens. So if you have a higher resolution, bigger screen,
I have a newer car with a low resolution screen. Let's put it that way. The
right?
Maverick does not go all out with that screen.
No, I mean, honestly, it's a pickup truck, so you would want big clunky things, so you don't have to look at it.
Yeah, sure.
So mine has a little higher resolution. It's a bigger screen. I think it's 12 inches or something like that. Not bragging, he's just stating facts.
Okay, show off.
But it will actually put more icons on each page.
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't have like 8 icons and all this empty space. So it will set it a little bit easier,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a look difference, things. But it also has added widgets. So if you're on your main page where you have the map and whatever you're playing, if you swipe, it also has the live updates, which are nice. So if you're into sports, you can have the sports score of your favorites right there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh, I wonder how the game's going. It's right there in your screen. Don't look down if you're having issues. But if you swipe from the left to the right, you will get widgets. And you can select what widgets to have up there.
Okay, so that's an option situation. So I figured it was like the live tile thing. Like when I make a Starbucks order, it'll pop up there.
That's that live activities on the bottom right where it shows the flight there.
Okay.
Because if you place an order on your phone for Starbucks, it'll say, we have your order. Your order is being processed.
But
very nice.
You're saying I get the pick widgets like I do on the
exactly
this alt home screen, or when you swipe left. So this kind of stuff would be
and
what
I'm
pops
actually
up.
trying to share because I did a quick little video. I'm trying to share it, and I'm going to have to do a quick thing. I'm going to turn my camera off for a second. I'm still here. If you want to talk about something else, because I need to use my phone to do this.
No problem. And my impressions are like it's a pretty overlay. Nothing's really kind of stuck out to me one way or another. Kind of like the Games app has been reformatted and adds a little bit more discovery. I have not dug into. There's now a preview where we usually would look at PDFs and photos on your phone. So honestly, the Games app helped me discover things that I didn't know. Like I didn't know Octodad was on Apple Arcade, which is something I know Riz is a really big fan of too. So no, that's been it's been. I mean, it's fine. It's different. I don't know if there's much that's terribly advantageous about this. One thing I have been doing, and I'll go into Playground here because again, kind of messing with that a little more to see how much better it might look. We talked about before, like what a lot of these images kind of looked like. Oh, where's my new images? I thought I had.
Unless you would have to save your images after.
Oh, you know what? So I definitely because I sent them in messages. So I presume it sent them there and it didn't save it, right?
Yeah.
So let me see if I can pull.
But I also posted as a response to a video you did talking about the octopus picture from last week.
Oh yeah, I saw.
I posted as a response.
I saw that. By the way, before we get to there, this is the newer. I just turned everybody into vampires. And they look pretty good. It's
Yeah.
more full body. It's not this cartoony kind of looking thing. You know, it's kind of like a little more to it. We're all very vampire right now, so that's just kind of where we went with it. So what do you got going on?
Sure. So, well, what I did is a response to one of last week's post.
Okay.
I used the ChatGPT built-in feature and put an octopus on your shoulder. One that looked photorealistic.
Where was this?
I'm trying to remember where I put it.
I remember you posting it, but I have no idea which platform we were on.
I don't remember if it was Facebook or if it was like Blue Sky or Twitter.
There's too many damn social networks.
Yeah. Or if it was
it's out
what
there
was
somewhere. It's out there somewhere.
Or Threads possibly.
Oh my god.
Which I don't know if I have my Threads logged into the computer here.
Either way, this happened somewhere.
Yes, it did.
You did this
but
thing.
I just put.
And you did the thing I did where I didn't save the image. Okay.
Well, no, I did save the image.
Okay.
The problem is right now again, it's on my phone, which I'm using as my camera.
Hold it up. Oh, it's your camera. Okay, never mind.
It is literally my camera.
You know what? Can you send it over to me and I'll post it on Instagram later? Okay.
I will.
It'll be on Instagram. You can check it out.
But I also posted in the chat. Across from the iOS WatchOS 26 impressions, a link to the video I did on my car to show the widgets.
This is in the chat? Which chat?
No, not chat. I'm sorry. On the dock.
On the dock. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
the share.icloud.com/photos.
I got
right
you.
There. Yep.
I got you.
Okay.
Yep. So we do have a little something here. Let's see what we got. I'm looking at. Okay, this is your setup. Okay, and you have.
Yep.
There's your little bit of video.
Yep. So you can see this is not my normal screen. That's what my normal screen looks like, where you have the the map but this you can see swipe. You have widgets here,
and it's got you have the podcast. You have you swiping down and you're getting all the clocks. You're getting
and I have my Outlook calendar. My Outlook calendar's on there.
Okay.
And then the other one I have
weather.
I have
various weather.
Well, I have two different weathers.
Okay.
I have the Apple weather and the Weather Channel weather. But that's completely customizable.
Yeah.
So you can go into settings under settings CarPlay on your phone and select what widget you want.
Setting. Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So you can say I want photos on here, or I want weather, or I want notifications that would come on this, and it just notice how it kind of blends into the screen, so you don't see the boxes there when you're not moving. If you're not touching the screen, they just look like it's part of the screen.
Say CarPlay on your settings. Is that under general?
Yeah, if you go under settings.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
this is the thing.
You gotta select the car.
You select the car. This is the thing. I only discovered this recently that if you get if you have multiple cars, but if you either way, like rearranging things happens on your phone instead of the settings on there. No, I discovered that. So it's going to look like I have plenty because I go through so many rental cars.
The rentals.
Yeah. So let's see. Ford Maverick would be me. And then you can go into your apps, and again, you can kind of add or remove apps, so you just don't have everything. Like, why would I have Zoom in Teams? I'm never going to use that, right? I never use audiobooks, so I have a bunch. I got to prune this again, probably. But so for the widgets, that's the new thing. There's a clock on there. There's a Google Calendar already on there. Weather, YouTube,
now,
music.
This is also the difference between the sizes of our screens. You have a single column. I have two.
Okay, so you would see a second kind of box for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Smart rotate.
But you can see you have your Google Calendar, your weather, but you could also, if you have the little eye next to it, when you go back to the main page,
I can
you can
add
see
it.
all these have,
I can add a Chipotle widget to my car?
You can, yes.
Are you kidding me? Okay, we're adding that guy. Oh, it's just like, it's my points. It's my loyalty number.
Some of it doesn't tell you much.
There's my bank account. No, we're gonna get out of that. We're gonna Express VPN.
Google,
I don't know.
Gemini,
if I want a VPN while driving, I just gotta hit a button. If I want to be, I'm driving to Canada. What's up?
There's a Gemini. There's a Gemini button there.
Wow, there's a lot included in it. Pokemon Go's on here? Hey! Oh, man.
And some of them have a lot more widgets than others.
Yeah, so, I mean, it looks like it's basically whatever you have for your phone. I see chronometer on there, too. So, I mean, some of this isn't going to make any sense to have on your phone. Indigo has a widget? I didn't know that. So, you can put news, because that's a great idea. So, Reddit, Slack, okay. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So, you could really kind of play with this. Okay. But
if you go back real quick to the main one.
What am I going back to?
Scroll to, there it is. You see how that little eye in the weather? Mm-hmm. Okay, if you click on that,
I can change what it is. Okay, so
exactly. Yeah,
like for me, it's
change city or
my location, Sassoon City. Oh, these are. I like to put places that I'm going to be going for, like Raycords, where we're going to be going in South Carolina. So
which makes sense.
I'm keeping an eye on that kind of thing. So, but that's really good for the whole weather situation. So, very cool, very very cool. So we spent so much time talking about this, and I need to get rid of these extra rental cars. So I think one's my mom's Subaru, so I don't want to mess that one up. I think that's that smartphone link. Either way, so very very cool. So that's it. Let us know your thoughts out there, guys, of what you think of iOS 26 or whatever OS 20. Again, I got it on the watch too. I mean, I don't know. Is it new that I can look at notes on my watch? That feels like a new feature.
That's new.
That is new. Okay, that can be handy. That can be insanely handy when I'm on a job, because literally, I'm creating a document with the names of my videographers, and to be able to just pull it up here. Look, I'm already at 10%. I got up at 8:30 a.m. today and put on my watch. I'm already at 10% on this brand new battery.
Also with the new when you put a new OS on, you're going to play with it more.
That's true. Yeah. So I got again, I can have that information up there. I like to do just kind of running notes of everything that I need for the day. Okay, this is the Wi-Fi password. Okay, this is the links. Okay, the stream key information's here. Okay, this is the person I need to talk to. Okay, these are my camera people for the day.
And the nice thing is you can create notes on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. You mean on the watch?
On the watch, I'm sorry. Yeah, on the watch. So you can actually I want to create a note, but I don't want to take out my phone, or I can't take out my phone, or my phone's being used as a camera.
This is so useful. I love it. Potter, this is great. Thank you for the helpful discovery of the things I can do with the new OSs. This is what I need. Because you look at it and you're like, all my stuff's where it was. What's new?
Yeah,
I don't understand why I'm doing different. What's the difference on this thing? I didn't know
little things.
I've been driving around today in my car. I didn't know to swipe left or whatever to get widgets. Had no idea. Nothing tells you anything. That's why the podcast ecosystem exists, right? Dave Potter. Yes.
Well, real quick. I've also been using the workout camera, the workout app a little bit more.
Okay.
Workout Buddy is not bad. Not bad. So every mile, it'll chime in and say, you finish your last mile in this type of speed.
Yep.
And if there's anything it may say, that was quicker in your last mile. Or if you go up a big hill, it may say, and your elevation change was this. Or, nothing over extraordinary, nothing annoying. It's not clippy for workouts. But it's a nice little thing. And at the end, it says, you finished your workout. Here's your summary.
Yeah, it's really like anything that would be a notification. I got I did a timed workout on a treadmill, and I did strength training because I did the PF 30 yesterday, and it just basically let me know when it's halfway, how far I was to the filling my exercise ring, when I hit the miles and what the timing is and everything like that. It does give me a little context of what I did last week versus this week kind of situation, it seemed. Now I did a treadmill today with nothing in my ears, and although I am impressed with your Apple Fitness does come up on your phone now. So as a widget and up in the top, so that's really cool because I'm usually putting the phone on the treadmill or elliptical or something. It's nice to have another feedback, and you don't have to go back to your watch in order to get that information. So that's coming along. I am appreciating that so far. So that's really nice. So and I'm hoping you can change the voice. Though
you can. Yeah,
Okay,
you
good.
can change. You can if you
I-
go.
She's too
into-
excitable for me. Can I get the Australian girl? Because she's just soothing.
There's at
I
least
know.
there's 3 easy ones. There are 2 women and 1 male voice.
Okay, we're gonna explore some of
So,
that
yeah.
stuff then.
Yeah.
See if my favorite trainer is on there or not. So, but either way, Dave Bonner iPhoneography podcast. Follow that for all of your photo deep dive iPhone needs. Right.
Oh yeah, lots of pictures. Tons of pictures today with tons of ways to try different things with the new cameras and trying it out, and looking at the cases and everything. So we go
Excellent.
deep.
Excellent. And then, of course, follow me at Sorgatron, at Sorgatron everywhere, Sorgatron.com. I think I've eradicated all the Russian bots off of my blog that snuck in through the back door of WordPress. Yeah, you got some stuff posted from this past weekend for the Defy Wrestling Seattle trip. Didn't get to explore a whole lot. It was just really kind of I did get to the beach. Not a, it was going swimming or nothing, but in the bay up there. We'll be doing we'll be down at 880 Wrestling. They're going to have a big Friday night show along with the training show. That's free on Thursdays. It is a paid show and on pay-per-view for Friday night for MB Young's Harvest Moon. I'm going to be in town. Ideally, I'm trying to get to the Ren Festival. I've never been to the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival. I have a feeling I'm going to be sorely disappointed after seeing the one in Michigan last year. Don't mind me when I'm just judging the jousting and the quality of it versus what we experienced last year. I would think if you've a long-time listener, you've heard the story about the guy that got sent to the hospital with a joist lance in his leg. So, but either way, and stay tuned, Ponder. We'll talk about something probably what we'll probably just bitch about iOS 26 about what's wrong with it here for Patreon or something. We'll see you guys we'll see you guys sooner or later. Hopefully we'll have some content for you here next week for the week off, and then we'll be back in time for the show the week after that. Thank you, everybody, and good luck to Katie on her surfing adventure, and I hope to hear from that soon. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, intern Mac, here in the studio, keeping everything going. And we'll see you guys next week. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.